Emily. I'm an artist and jewellery maker. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do the probably long awaited video that I've wanted to do for a while, but I suppose when it comes to things like this you wait for the right time, and there never is a right time. So I wanted to actually start and just rip the plaster off, as it were, and get it done, because there's never going to be a right time, and live in the moment, seize the day and all that. So I'm actually renaming my business, and everything's staying relatively the same, it's just the name. So I'm still doing polymer clay jewellery, I'm still doing illustrations and digital art, and also the more painterly stuff as well, and still YouTube videos, everything like that. But I am just changing the name of my business. I've struggled with a long time with work-life balance and also keeping the business side of things away from other aspects of my life, some positive and some negative. I'm running Lakin Art for about 4 years now in terms of having the actual Etsy shop and whatnot, but I've been doing art all my life, and I think having your name as the business is wonderful because you are recognised as the artist. I started doing polymer clay jewellery as a distraction for the most part. When I got poorly in 2018 with a really nasty case of glandular fever, and it was a really nasty case. So my spleen was twice the size, it's called splenomegaly. I had hepatitis E, and I also had a lot of complications from nerve damage and things like that. I also was told during that time that I had an undiagnosed heart condition, so that explained a lot of factors as to why I was feeling certain ways, and also exacerbated the anxiety that I've felt all my life. So with that, after the glandular fever, I kind of predominantly healed from. I didn't realise that because the case was so nasty, I can actually develop a post-viral response and actual comorbidities within that. So I went through a long process of knowing what was wrong, as I got some really nasty symptoms from neurological pain and damage from things like Lermit sign, which is something I'm in the process of actually being diagnosed. They think I might have something similar, or MS, because I'm having quite nasty symptoms that could relate to that. So Lermit sign being a symptom where you feel like your spinal cord is being plucked like a guitar string, and it makes your extremities feel very bizarre. I've also just a couple of weeks ago got diagnosed with a neurogenic bladder, so because of that they're also thinking there's definitely something neurological going on, because that doesn't normally happen unless there is something to do with either the nervous system, brain or spine. So with that, there's a lot of aspects to my life that I find very difficult. So when I went to see a neurologist, they suggested when I was in hospital on a ward to try something like Play-Doh. So something that can actually get the strength back in my hands. I was really weak in my hands. I couldn't grip very easily, which as an artist is quite difficult because I couldn't really hold a pencil very easily. I was also struggling with my eyesight, so I couldn't focus or be precise in that respect, so that was quite difficult. So they said, start doing something really low-key that might help gain that strength in my hands, and also something that you can enjoy. So naturally I was like, I'll take that on board, but I want to do polymer clay because it's something I've always been interested in. I've seen it on Pinterest and it always looked like something I'd love to do if I had the time. I was then given the time, recovering from all these horrible symptoms, so I picked up a couple of blocks of Fimo and had a go, and I've never looked back. I started Lakin Art on Etsy in 2020 as a minor distraction from everything going on within 2020, but also from the illness. I had developed my skill enough to have people say, you should start selling this stuff, it's nice, and you know, friends were kind of complimenting that, and I thought, you know what, why not? Being disabled, financially things get very difficult because there's a lot more costs within that. I can't work because my symptoms are so severe that was kind of taken out of my hands in that respect, and I had to quit a couple of jobs that I really did enjoy, including tattooing, and with that my mental health also significantly declined as well. So having this creative outlet would really help there. While my name as the business has its perks, as I previously mentioned, the work-life balance is difficult because I am known as the business, but also it's the same name I get called to invasive procedures and going to the doctors and getting my prescription, and I think sometimes that can bring up a lot of medical trauma, and I sometimes resent seeing my name as something that's so positive. It was only when I was speaking to another small business owner who said that their name change to an actual name really helped them, and I thought, that could be something that I could do, and it might help. And if it does, fantastic. But also I did want to distance that because of the simple thing of being very in love with what I do. I do sometimes struggle with having the professional side of my life being the only thing that defines me, and I'd like to have my name back for personal reasons, and so I can deal with that sort of aspect of trauma from horrible medical situations, but other aspects as well. And so I want to rename my business. My business has been the thing that keeps me going. It's the thing that gives me something to wake up for. And on my darkest days, I think if I can create something or use that as a coping mechanism for myself, but also make something that people might like as well. And filming these videos, it gives me a purpose. And sometimes I just want to stay in bed all day and cry and wallow, which is absolutely fine. But I also think there comes a time when it becomes not so helpful, and having something to get up for, and love is a massive part of recovery, and both mentally and physically in that respect. The aspects of a brand's identity is something that I've always been interested in, from things like colour schemes, logos, and everything in between. And I thought long and hard on what I wanted to call my business, and I've got some business cards on the way, but I'm really excited to get to this part of re-identifying myself as a business, but also as a human with a name. So I'm going to take that risk and rename my business and the brand's identity. So the name of my business is Fever Frolic. So the name meaning fever, which is the reason why I redid my life the way that it is now. Glandular fever did completely rewrite my life, and I want that to become a positive. I want to associate that with a chance. Everyone gets stuck in life sometimes, and they have these things that they want to do, but it's comfortable, or if it's not comfortable, it's familiar. And within that, they want to rewrite or change up an aspect of their life, but they don't know how to fit that in with their life. I was lucky, if that's the right word, to not be given a choice in that respect. And while, yes, there was a lot of difficulty within that, and I still deal with a lot of aspects of that being very, very difficult, it is the reason why I get to do this. And I went from being a tattoo artist who enjoyed aspects of her job but was struggling mentally with the pressure and the industry itself, and a lot of things from having the glandular fever and health, and a lot of things were going on in my life. So having this at the time didn't feel like it was a blessing, but it really was, because it's actually led me to the life that I get to live now, which 6 years ago, I think it was 6 years ago, I didn't think I'd be able to feel like this. I never thought this sort of life would be something I would get. So Fever Frolic. Frolic being the fact that I've always been quite quirky. I've always been very much not one to follow the crowd, and I think while that did subject me to bullying at school and being weird and the words being a freak, but I do just frolic around in my own little way, in my own little world. I'm not going to change that for anyone. And I think now as an adult, I'm glad that I stayed true to myself. I'm glad that I was authentically myself, because there's a lot of people who are very similar or are too scared to be themselves because they might get judged. And I do get judged in many ways. And I think while, yes, there are some stairs and whatnot, I have a bright yellow wheelchair and that can get a few odd looks, but I also get told that I am the sunshine rolling around. I don't know. It makes me feel good, and I think that is definitely somewhat healing of my inner child, who definitely felt scared to embrace herself and wore that poncho that her grandma knitted her and got judged for it, but still loves that poncho and wishes she still had it. But I think I'm doing that for her, because she was scared and she was anxious a lot of the time of her life in her childhood, and now I'm going to live in my full toddler chic ways, dress what she wants to wear. And it also is a massive part of my business. Maximalism, colour, expressing yourself through accessories and embracing the quirks and wearing what you want and putting something on your body that is cheerful and doing that for yourself. And I think that is a huge part of what helps me in my self-confidence, is that I put on that pair of earrings and that necklace that matches my dress, or doesn't match my dress, but I feel like it goes with the outfit, and I feel that extra bit confident. I feel like as a young woman with a wheelchair and a walking stick, I'm going to get judged and stared at anyway, so I might as well give them something to stare at and look fabulous while doing so. So yes, my business is Viva Frolic from now on. The name on my YouTube will change to Viva Frolic, my Instagram will be Viva Frolic, Etsy shop Viva Frolic, you get the picture. So I can actually have that separation between personal life, medical life and professional life. But if you do have any questions regarding this rebranding, renaming and anything in between, anything that you want to suggest regarding makes that you'd like to see, videos, I mean, the last video that I did was the pencil crayon video and that's had a lot of love and I'm really grateful for that, so thank you so much for that. I gained 20 odd subscribers just from that video alone, and me and my partner have just been refreshing the subscription feed and seeing it, and we've just been buzzing over the fact that I've had some lovely comments about pencil crayons, and I love artist supplies, and having that shared love between people like myself I really do love. And I think having this sort of community of people who love creativity and find joy and solace within that is just incredible. I can't thank you enough. I'm still shocked that I've reached 500 subscribers already, and I can't wait to see where this grows. So Viva Frolic, onwards and upwards. That's the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video or like me, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here and join me in all of my arty endeavours. There's some exciting things coming up in personal life and professional situations as well. It's also getting towards the summer holidays where my partner, being the teacher, is going to be off. But I've also got lots of plans for products in the shop. There's recently been some necklaces added. I've also got some other ideas, other products that maybe aren't jewellery inspired but still polymer clay. Hint hint, sneaky peek. But that's the end of this video. I could waffle on for ages. I'm gonna let you go, but thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you have a truly magical rest of your day. Please stay safe out there and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!